What's up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a really neat automated scheduled syndication method that can be used in conjunction with Tumblr and Blogger and both entities. So you can do it from the subdomain, but both entities can also be integrated with a custom domain. So you have a unique domain that's pushing out syndicated URLs. So there's obviously a sea of syndication methods and tools out there. But with this method, you can pretty much do it for free or very little money. And the customization and the power of it is a lot greater than most of the methods out there that I'm aware of. And on top of that, what's crazy, and I did not know this until tonight, is that I can actually add, the subdomain sitemaps to Search Console for these properties. So that's pretty awesome on top of everything, right? So you can obviously see in the profile here, I just now added the Tumblr sitemap. You can see sitemap1.xml. That's the native Tumblr sitemap address. And then I've also added it from Blogger, and over here I can show you in a second. And all you have to do is when you go to click the drop down and add a property, you just have to enter the fully qualified subdomain of either Tumblr or Blogger. So if you went HTTPS, let's see here, :// and then you'd say, getivan LLC or whatever .blogger.com, for example, you have to have a fully qualified subdomain. Then you can just click continue. And for Blogger, because it's already a Google property, there's no verification required. So it automatically adds the entity, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming it would do the same if you tied your blog to a custom domain. I have not actually tested tying a custom domain to the Blogger entity. I'm assuming it works because it looks like it's free. So I haven't messed with that one that much, but I have, as some of you guys know from watching past videos, I have a lot of experience playing around in Tumblr. And so I do know that you can tie the custom domain in Tumblr for free, which is really awesome. And it handles the HTTPS redirects properly and everything. Excuse me. And also handles, the sitemap and what have you. I've never added a sitemap. In my previous, I have a variety of sites where I've added a custom domain with the Tumblr sitemap to Search Console, and it does work. So there's no reason it wouldn't, obviously work again. It's just wild. I think it's just wild that you can add the property as a subdomain. And so when you do that, though, you have to pick let me fast forward to it so I can show you guys. So if I go to add this, so normally if you would do a custom domain, you would just add this right here, and it has you verify with CNAME or text record, but obviously you can't do that on a subdomain. So in order to do a subdomain property, you have to have the ability to verify with on-page like HTML in the header, right? And then you have to be able to enter the URL prefix in here. So if we clicked continue, then it's going to say, okay, in order to verify this, you need to use one of these methods. So what you do is you just want to go add meta tag to your site's homepage. So most of these other ones wouldn't really work, like because you'd have to add code somewhere, and the more reliable ones are the DNS oriented ones. But this is the option for the HTML tag. And so if you copy this one here, then basically you'd have to have whatever you're trying to add. Then you just put that into the header after the header content, before the body content. See what I'm saying? Like you typically don't want to do that stuff before the header content because sometimes it can result in problems. But anyways, this is just an example. So I'm going to remove this property. But yeah, that's all you'd have to do. So I was checking to see if Medium had an option to do that. And excuse me, unless I'm mistaken, they don't offer an option for that. So I clicked around to see if I could find something, but I couldn't find anything. So that was a bummer. That would have been a really good one to have in under the belt. But in my IFTTT, and you don't have to have this subscription. I got a really good deal when they added a pro account, a couple years ago. And so it's like, I only pay like $2 a month for the sale. So I've just been using it to syndicate videos from my YouTube channel into various properties, and It used to have it syndicate to Tumblr and then have Tumblr push its own links out into the social media pages so that they all went back to the website with the custom domain. But recently, since I've switched over to a single page, some of my properties I decided they're better suited for HTML, and so I switched certain things to HTML and other things stay over on Tumblr. And then I'm kind of decided that Tumblr is a lot easier to manage if you just use it as a syndication portal. Here's my Tumblr subdomain as a syndication portal, so it's almost the exact same HTML type design, which also makes it a little easier to manage. Like, Tumblr themes are really cheap comparatively. It's very difficult though to find a designer to do a Tumblr theme properly, and that was one of the things I was getting really irritated by, is getting my developer that I'd worked with for over a year to make changes was such a hassle. So, excuse me, I still have the code. I'm going to put the code to my Tumblr theme it's a pastebin file. I'll put it into the below this video, so you guys are welcome to use it to your, for your whatever purposes you prefer. And as you can see, it's really great for syndicating content. There's got a lot of really clean, nice, simple features for syndicating video content or any kind of link-oriented content. And then it's got footer features. And I have I like to use the footer link here for anchor text confirmation. And pardon me, it has sitemap and RSS features, which make it really great for syndicating content. And just really clean sort of syndication portal. And the plan is I don't have to test this, so no guarantees on exactly how it's going to work in conjunction with subdomains. But pardon me, the idea is I can use tier 3 links plus to just send stuff to the Tumblr subdomain, and also the Blogger subdomain. Let me show you this. The Blogger subdomain is pretty similar, and then there's a really clean, simple Blogger template that's super fast to set up. That's just really, really vanilla, and it gives you a lot of links and a lot of video embeds. And then at the bottom, you have to do a little bit of jerry rigging in the HTML to remove the powered by Blogger thing. But just go do a Google search on it. It's really simple to do. And then you can get your own anchor text in the footer there. No idea exactly how those pass juice, if they're no follow or some of them are do follow. Who knows? Who cares? It doesn't matter, because as long as I'm getting that syndication, those video embeds, and some of those abilities to do bulk anchor text distributions, that's okay with me. In fact, with some of these Tumblrs and Blogger subdomains, like, there's a lot of potential to just, because of some of the features. Like, if you look at, let me see here. If you look at doing a post from the back end, you can do a text post, and then there's a way to add it to the queue. And I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it's 250 posts, and then you can set it on a timer to publish like one every day at a certain period of time. So Tumblr is like super secret sauce for syndication, I think, because you can queue up a large quantity, and then there's the back end has a social media platform, so you can use hashtags that are sort of generic to large uh, categories, right? You can't really do that as easily on Blogger, to my knowledge. But the cool thing about Blogger is just the way that you can still schedule content. So if I was to do a new post here and then go into the published on, then I can kind of set. I'm pretty sure this is a scheduling feature, unless I'm mistaken. Like, again, I don't have much experience with Blogger. I kind of looked at that and I assumed that was a scheduling feature. That might just be a timestamp. So actually, I might be mistaken on that. But let's see, automatic set on. Let's see. I'm hoping that's a scheduling feature, but I'm not really sure. So again, I've had this syndication set up for a while, and I know for sure that there's a queue for Tumblr, and there might be a queue for other social media like Facebook, maybe Pinterest. I could be mistaken. So, but in any case, you kind of see the benefit of using these as syndication portals, however you spin it, right? And if you send a bunch of super cheap links to some of these places, then I think there's a benefit there to indexation possibly. So, and at this, I was just tickled by the fact that I could add this stuff to Search Console. But pardon me, I had to recently reset up my IFTTT here. Had to redo the connections, and I decided to do Twitter, Facebook, and Blogger and Tumblr, and they all work pretty well. Like, the idea is to get the title out there, and some of these I've restructured it, so I'm getting ready to test it to anchor the link of the video into actually the title. So then you get that extra anchor text bump in different places, and then every one of these, or well, these two pages here also give you generic links back to the root. So um, just a neat little syndication setup. So if you just picked, one of those, it would still be great. Like, even just Blogger would be good, most likely to, set up uh, the maybe schedule, or have those copied over every time, or um, and then just get yourself a homepage anchored link to the raw URL. I prefer to do the raw URL because I think it's safer. Pardon me. And even with Tumblr, you could do like an off domain. Like, for me, it's getivan.com, and then I could do something like, getivan.co or getivan.click. I have getivan.click that I have for like email syndication types of purposes. So that might not be a bad idea to have as a syndication portal, and then you can just send a bunch of like tier 3 links to just the homepage, really. And um, that might be a way to improve syndication. Like, anyways, just a neat little stack of things that I thought was pretty cool that you could integrate directly with Search Console. Pardon me. And yeah, pretty cheap and pretty easy to do, that you could do on a project to project basis. So some of these you can schedule. Again, I'm not sure exactly on Blogger. Some of the social medias that you could maybe schedule. Like, obviously, you couldn't integrate some of those with Search Console. So really, it comes down to just Blogger and let's see, let me kill this link here. Blogger and Tumblr. And yeah, and one I saw a guy. Well, I saw this. I was doing an audit for a client the other day, and I saw one of their competitors. I was looking at their link profile, trying to explain certain things, and I saw a competitor do an off domain. So their competitor had a certain domain like such and such.com, and then they had an off domain like such and such.com or whatever, and it was a redirect to the root domain. And they had created directory links for the off domain. So it was really sneaky because they had this sort of like third party syndication model set up. And so you could stack and stack and stack, and you could use something like Tumblr or Blogger to just as like a power page, and then you could just syndicate all those other pages. And even, pardon me, depending on how I know Tumblr is probably no follow, no refer, but I don't know how Blogger is handled, if it's all totally no follow. Like, I think you might be able to set it in the HTML if it's no follow or do follow. I was looking at that a second ago. Let's actually take a quick look at that. If we go to theme, and we go to customize, and then we go to, or sorry, is it not customize? My bad. It might be, here we go, edit HTML. Then you can go to this section, jump to widget, then to it must be HTML. I saw under the widget section it showed me. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's do follow. I need to check up on that. So you're locked. On this other widget, when you have to take away the powered by, I did see a no follow tag. So I'm assuming this is do follow. I'd have to check on that. So the point is, though, that you can set up one of these pages, and even if you can't schedule in a Blogger, you could still set up like key pages, like parent pages, excuse me, and then you could get a custom domain that's a little off, and then have that have that blast into a bunch of different directories, and then you could go and just do a ton of tier 3 links to that parent page, or and also maybe some of the directory pages. It'd be really strong way to get some extra, juice like trickling through, uh, certainly to some of those, more premium pages. And then I was going to say something else. What else could you do? You could the other thing, oh yes, is that with some of these subdomain pages, like with my Medium page, I only have this one single post that I did. Now that's a strong post. It's got like a Hacker Noon distribution that was pretty successful at the time that I did it. But at one point, this was ranking for my LL, like a variation of my brand name. So from a reputation management standpoint, pardon me, all of this stuff is a really good idea. Like even the pages that don't pass juice, like I have experience to be able to say that even when you get links from like guest post links that are sponsored posts, even if they don't pass juice, like the pages themselves will still rank for stuff in the titles and in the meta title. So even from a reputation management standpoint, this stuff is a really good strategy, even with subdomains, because I see it ranking for brand names all the time. So Blogger, Tumblr, Medium, uh, and really anything else that you would want to use this kind of method for, like you can at least use this to like fill up a brand page, which also means that it might be a way to do that competitively, but you might want to be careful with that, because I have seen some guys talking about ranking for other company brand names, as in a competitive way, and getting sued for that. So you want to be careful, like in how you use this sort of method. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't exactly know how to describe all that. Just like uh, syndicate reputation management syndication strategy. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.